Who thought golf could be this interesting? If the past few months have taught us anything, it's that this sport might just be the most dramatic one of our time. Petty memes, top secret meetings, and leaked text conversations. No, this is not your regular CW teen drama. It's the typically serious game of golf. Many OG fans have challenged this new series, but what happened on Monday shocked us all. Today, we're going to tell you all that went down. First up, this new series might just be the real deal. If you haven't watched the big game unfold on Monday morning and still think you can pass any comments on LIV, you might want to stick around with us here. Don't get us wrong, we too had our lingering doubts. No one really thought that the new series could successfully challenge golf's traditional tour, PGA, but those 18 chaotic holes told us otherwise. It looks like LIV has finally settled this months-long debate once and for all. We know what you're thinking. LIV Golf is too different, strange, and rather petty. And let's not forget that it's funded by the Sovereign Fund of Saudi Arabia, which isn't exactly an impressive introduction. Almost no one liked it from the get-go, and not just because it was rivaling the PGA Tour. And yes, all of these things still stand, and you can have your opinions about that. So we're not trying to dismiss any of that, but just hear us out here. It may not have the strongest background, but if you look at it solely for what it is, you may change your mind a little. LIV represents golf, and as a golf product, we think it's the real deal. Remember the emphasis on the word product. Here, you're probably thinking, how? There are no majors, it's not even recognized by the world ranking system yet, and it lasted for a few hours on 18 holes. What's the point, right? Yeah, we don't deny any of these flaws. These things can't be put aside, and we're not going to do that. But all of this combined still can't refute the fact that the PGA Tour's rival had its glory moment in the sun this week. And safe to say, we're all thoroughly entertained. Next, the game ended with a wild six-way shootout among the biggest names in golf. In a matter of months, Greg Norman has succeeded in accumulating some of the top names in golf from the PGA Tour, and that's despite all the warnings and repercussions these players faced from the tour, so we think he deserves some credit. Well, he and the hefty wealth fund of the Saudis. We know money was a big decision maker for all these LIV recruits. Anyway, the Boston game was wild thanks to these top players. The event boiled down to a final showdown with players like Dustin Johnson, Cameron Smith, Lee Westwood, Joaquim Niemann, Tyler Gooch, and Anirban Lahiri. These players competed for one of the largest prize purses golf has ever seen in a crazy six-way shootout, and we loved watching them. The winner would take home $5.9 million in a purse that was worth $37 million. So we're talking about big money here, and all of them had shotgun starts, which basically means that all of these six legends were playing their holes at the same time. Never in our wildest dreams could we have imagined something like this, and here we are, all of our favorites trading blows on the leaderboard, going towards a super chaotic finish. And if it couldn't get any crazier, 5 of those 6 players had taken the lead at one point or another in the tournament, and that too in the final 9 holes. You may think that LIV Golf is merely just a glorified and rather controversial exhibition event, but what happened in Boston was just amazing. The nerves, the excitement, the curiosity, that adrenaline rush, all of it was unmatched and had us glued to our screens. Now for the big one. Dustin Johnson wins LIV Golf's first ever playoff. With their first playoff, LIV really has set the bar really high. We want this or nothing for future games. Write that down, Greg. In case some of you missed watching it, we feel really sorry for you. But don't worry, we are here to recap every detail you need to know. Let's see what all went down leading to Johnson's big win. Westwood was 8 under for the day as he played through 15 holes. The 49-year-old player had a great shot and a share in the lead, but the day wasn't on his side. He eventually had 2 bogeys in the final 3 holes and didn't win. We can't forget Cameron. The world number 2 was also in a similar situation as Lee, as he went 8 under 16 holes, but all went against him as he hit an errant tee shot with 2 holes left to play. We saw him make his first bogey, and everyone knew he was dropped from the race. Maybe next time, Smith. Don't forget, you're still number 2. Now, Lahiri was playing exceptionally well. The Indian player was doing great, and we thought he was going to win. That 7-footer for eagle on the 18th hole was probably the putt of his life, and it would have given him the outright win even. But we were all shocked when he burnt the edge. No one saw that coming, definitely not us. At the end of it all, one of the world's best players emerged as the winner. We know that's pretty confusing, seeing as all of these people were some of the best golfers. But when we say this, you know we're talking about Dustin Johnson. This guy took home the big prize in LIV Golf's first ever playoff. Coming up, Dustin Mickelson is the first American to win an individual event for LIV. Let's face it, his gameplay was phenomenal. He made an eagle with a monster putt, which traveled at full speed. His putt eventually hit the back of the cup and popped up as we all held our breaths and waited to see what would happen. It landed in the hole in a flash, and the crowd went crazy with all the energy. Here we had our first American winning a LIV individual event, and he topped excellent players like Neiman and Lahiri in that three-way playoff. Well, we were really happy for our star. We can't help but feel bad for Smith. The Aussie has been LIV Golf's biggest recruit this season. His one pulled tee shot cost him a spot in the playoff, and we're sure that would have been pretty disappointing, especially seeing all that he's had to sacrifice to get to this position. The golfer had to turn his back on the tour for an amazing offer of $100 million. Like every other player who joined the rival league, he was also banned from the PGA Tour and won't be able to play any of those majors. Money could have been a leading factor in his decision, but we all saw his strength in Boston. He might not have made the cut, but it was clear that he wasn't just playing for the cash check. You know, unlike the underwhelming performances of Phil Mickelson, he looked powered throughout, and no one can deny that he played some of his best golf. Like, come on, who can forget that final round? We know you were all thinking he'd win it all from those 5 shots. Naturally, he looked devastated by his bogey too, and that's saying a lot because this star doesn't usually show his emotions on the course. Moving on, this tournament may have been great, but there are some drawbacks. This one event doesn't wash away all the bad of LIV Golf, and if you think that this is all there is to the game, well, you're wrong. Sure, the 54 holes and no ranking points didn't impact the passion on the course or anything, but some issues remain, and they need to be addressed for the future of this series. Let's talk about the shotgun starts that these players got. We didn't like the fact that some of these leading players like Smith and Westwood were playing in front of no one for the first 3 holes, because most of the people were at the 18th one. Now, we want you to picture this for a moment. Imagine if either of these two had held their nerve and won it all right there and then. A victory moment in front of no one was a very real possibility on Monday, and that would have been rather dull, right? So many players contending and playing at the same time created a very rapid-fire frenzy for audiences who were sure won't be there to see everyone, right? Finally, the broadcast was pretty frustrating. For everyone watching at home, let's face it, all of us wanted to turn the volume down at some point during the game. No one in their right mind would have enjoyed that broadcast. The commentators on TV and on the course were both just constantly gushing over the product. It was a bit too much and very in the face if you ask us. We constantly saw tweets from people saying how much they love LIV, and every player was asked about their series after their round. It would have been a lot better and a lot less frustrating if we had none of that. Please guys, we don't need to see this stuff to live LIV. If it's good, we'll enjoy it on its own. So you might want to tone that down a bit. That's a wrap for this video. What are your thoughts on LIV now? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.